I have given a name to my pain. The Batman.
Always waiting for some Batman to save you.
It's simple. We kill the Bat of Gotham. You don't really think you'll win, do you? I'm Batman.
Hey now, welcome to episode number 16 of the Batman on Film vlog. I am your host. I am the founder of Batman on Film as well, Bill Jett Ramey. With me today are, for the first time, us three together on a vlog.
Yeah.
That is. That would be
Feels
Justin.
good.
Yes, Justin Kowalski and Ryan Haas. Justin, how you doing, man?
I'm doing fantastic this morning. It's good to be on this vlog, man. I've been wanting to get on one with you. So
Hey, let me ask you. You know I like to talk about weather. Are you getting that cold weather? I've seen some of my LA friends talking about it. What's the deal?
It's cold, man. It's
Yeah.
cold. Yeah,
Okay.
it's been like 55 every day.
Okay.
I don't know what's going. It'll go from like last week 80 to 55. So yeah, it's freezing.
I saw, Gary, who set us up with Gotham by Gaslight and all that stuff.
Yeah.
He had on Facebook had like his windshield was full of ice and stuff. It was. I'm going, wow. Okay. All right.
It's gonna be 70 tomorrow though, so
Yeah.
that's nice.
Yeah. That's all right. I got you. Okay. Hello, Ryan. How are you, man?
Hey, doing good.
All right. Anyone want to update the weather in North Carolina where you're at?
It's rained so bad. I've got a kiddie pool outside just to gauge the rain, and it's continually, it's full. It hasn't dried up yet.
Yes.
So.
All right. So.
Batman
Yeah.
shirts. We all have the Batman
Yes.
shirts.
Look here. I wore
Adam
this.
West.
I wore this on purpose. On
Nice.
purpose, Lego Batman.
Good.
Love that
Lego
damn
Batman.
movie.
Because
Lego
it's valid.
It is valid, and it is one of the greatest Batman films of all time, and I am not backing down on that. It is a love letter to the world of Batman, and
I agree.
if you don't like it,
Yep.
that's what I do. I do a Rick. That's a Rick Shoe move, and I'll bring it up. Rick, and speaking of Rick, Rick is not with us today, so take that for what you will. Let's move on. Let's talk a little bit of Batman on film or DC on film. Batgirl on film first, and I'll let y'all discuss. I want to get y'all's thoughts about a lot of this stuff because I've been writing and I've been vocal on these vlogs here lately. Justin, were you shocked that Joss Whedon is not going to direct Batgirl, man?
No, I was just waiting for when he was going to drop off.
Yeah.
Honestly, it was when was he publicly going to drop off and they were going to say it's not a thing.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of glad, regardless of when or if they make Batgirl, if it's even a thing, I'm glad that he's not on it. I'm just not a huge Whedon fan. And I've said before, like, I think Avengers was a good movie.
Yeah.
I think that movie would have been a hit no matter who directed it. I know that people may disagree with that. I just think like there was a lot of momentum going with that.
Yeah.
You really saw the true Whedon in Ultron.
Age of Ultron. Yeah.
Yeah. And I know there was some stuff where Marvel kind of tooled around with that, but I've just never been a huge Whedon fan. I like Buffy. The stuff he's done on TV has been better, and I think he needs serialization to tell a story. But I think him dropping off is great. I think the excuses was bananas, saying, "Oh, I just didn't have a good story." I'm like, why'd you sign up? Why did you say, "Hey, I want to do Batgirl"? Out of all the characters that they supposedly offered him, give me a crack. Give me a crack at Batgirl.
It's the question. It's the question of like why would they even give people projects without a pitch that they even like to start with or a story?
Yeah.
But
We can
that's
talk about
another
too.
discussion.
Yeah,
That's
it is
a
good
discussion.
So there you go.
So it was, not surprised, and that whole, I was kind of shocked. Like you didn't have a story, but when they announced it, it acted like, oh, this is my wheelhouse, and it's like he had a story, So of course, I'm of the strong opinion, and this is a very, I will put a very educated opinion, that it was nothing but a smokescreen for the whole him coming on board Justice League, and it's just apparently waiting till after Justice League has kind of run its course. I know it's only been released digitally. It's still the Blu-ray, but I think they're ready to. They're going to start moving on and not worrying about how they're going to the PR hits, if you will, they'll take on that film. So, Ryan, any thoughts about Joss Whedon, Batgirl, the whole anything that entails?
Yeah. I mean, I just felt like this was a long time coming for a lot of reasons. Apart from everything else, the allegations that have come up against him recently have also sparked the question in Hollywood about, more filmmakers being able to be involved in characters that are diverse. A lot of people want a Batgirl movie, and a lot of people are vying for, female involvement, whether that's writing, directing, everything. They want more of that in Hollywood, because we saw how successful Wonder Woman can be and Black Panther can be, and that's kind of a big thing right now. So I think a lot of people are interested in looking at that, especially for movies like this. Mm-hmm. And then, like you said, Bill, just the circumstances of the initial announcement were just, a little bit, around a year ago, it was just a little out of nowhere, and then the Justice League news hit about him stepping in to help finish up Justice League. And then, Justice League's performance itself, I don't think that, I think Warner Brothers was very careful in how they marketed Justice League. They didn't have Whedon involved in the PR at all. Yeah. Period. And the reaction was also not great. The film didn't get great reviews and everything like that, and a lot of people blame Whedon. So maybe Warner Brothers is ready just to kind of put the Justice League everything behind them. But yeah, the article itself was really interesting to me because longtime BOFer John Beerley was on Twitter, and he said it read to him like an article from The Onion. It was so strange and silly. And I agree with them because I read it, and you get to that quote in the article where it says, where Whedon says that he's grateful to Jeff Johns and Toby Emmerich and everyone else, and so welcoming when he arrived, and so understanding when is there a sexier word for failed? I mean, it's just, it's a very funny hey, y'all, everybody knew this was coming, but I'm just going to say something funny anyway kind of statement. So yeah, I was not surprised.
I mean, he failed at nothing because there was never anything. That's the thing, and which brings up, look, when that was announced at first, because I didn't know about Whedon at the time when they announced Batgirl. That had to be what? That was March? About
March-ish.
Yeah. And I thought, hey, yeah, because I really thought that they were going to kind of, center everything around Ben Affleck's Batman. There was going to be this Batman. We talked about it on the podcast. It was going to be Batman Cinematic Universe, and you had Gotham City Sirens, and you had Batgirl, and all this, and then, but none of that's it seemed, and of course Nightwing, which I'm going to get to next,
right.
And it seems like nothing. I don't know if any of this is going to happen. We all, I think, believe that Affleck is done. We don't know what Matt Reeves is going to do with his Batman film. Is it a prequel? Is it its own thing? Is it, are they doing like a Val Kilmer Batman Forever thing, but between Returns and Forever, where they're who knows what the heck's going on? But so it brings up like Nightwing. We know that now Chris McKay is moving on to do Dungeons and Dragons, and I think is that for Fox or Paramount? It's for
Paramount.
Paramount. It's another studio. It's not Warner Brothers.
And it's a shared thing too.
Yeah.
Right?
I think because Warner Brothers had the rights, and they even put a movie out, didn't they? Like in 2000 or something like
2000.
that.
There's actually 3 movies.
Really? Okay.
There's actually, hold on a second.
Ryan has probably 4 DVDs or something of it.
Yo.
Yeah, there you go.
There's movies 1 and 2 right here.
I didn't know they made a third one.
They did make a third one. But it only came out in the UK. So you can only pick up the Blu-ray like on Amazon for
maybe Tom can pick one up for you.
Yeah, well, I have it. It's over there. I've got it. I haven't watched it yet, but yeah, there you go.
Well,
kind of a Dungeons and Dragons.
Friend of Batman on film, Chris McKay is doing. I wouldn't say moving on, but kind of moving on, I guess. He's going to go do this, and this thing has a release date and everything. This is like it's going to happen.
Yeah.
So he's not going to be working on Nightwing anytime soon. I think it's 2021 when Dungeons and Dragons. So he'll be the next 3 years. He'll be working on that. Justin, are we going to see Nightwing? I don't think that was a ruse. I think that was something legitimately they were tinkering around with, but I don't know about now.
Yeah. I mean, I think it was yesterday. He even said, I mean, if they want me off Nightwing, they're going to have to fire me.
Yeah.
I don't know anymore with these movies because there has been like solid statements said before, and then he's out, and so I tend to, not like I know him, but it sounds like he's pretty direct and upfront. He's been very like, revealing online. Oh, hey, we're looking for Nightwing actors. What are you guys looking for? Mm-hmm. I'm always going to work with this guy when I make a soundtrack. Anyways,
right.
Maybe they are pushing off. It might be my theory is my uneducated theory with a little bit of education there is Matt Reeves is working on Batman, and maybe he has some ideas on how that universe goes. And that might mean, hey, Nightwing can fit into it, but let's get this thing going. And maybe that's what it is. Maybe there's like a puzzle piece, and like, where does everything fit? I don't know. I mean, that's just...
Hey, he may want to do Robin and have it be Dick Grayson. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Matt Reeves. I mean, I think that... Yeah, I would think that what Matt Reeves wants to do will come first. And look, and this is another topic I'm trying to slide in, or subtopic. I hope he takes all the time in the world he wants. And if it's, if we don't see another Batman film for 3 years, 4 years,
yeah.
I don't care. I think it's a good idea to give it a little breathing room right now. Ryan, any thoughts about
agree.
all that? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's he needs to make the film he wants to make and needs to have the time to do it. So that's Chris Nolan got 4 years in between.
Exactly.
Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises, but he did make a movie in between. Yes. So Chris Nolan makes movies faster than you think. But yeah, in terms of the Nightwing news, I think DC Films in general is kind of in this holding pattern right now, where like the things that we know for sure are happening, like Aquaman, Shazam's filming, Wonder Woman 2 is coming out next year. It's what should film this year, I would assume. Mm-hmm. So they've got this new executive leadership in. So it might be a little too early for all this stuff to get greenlit right away, especially the stuff that was already going to be later down the line, like a Nightwing. And the other thing that I think of is just I think a lot of these projects, because there's like 20-something projects like tossed around. I think that there's a
Lobo, man.
Exactly, Lobo. We got to get the Lobo out. We got to get Lobo, Michael Bay Lobo. But I think a lot of these films, are in different stages of happening. There's different stages to how a film gets pitched and gets greenlit and then actually gets put into production. And it's the same way with video games, like video game publishers and studios. They pitch idea. A game just doesn't get made. A game gets pitched. A game gets approved. A game, there's all these stages and ways that people spend the money. So I think that's kind of probably where Nightwing also is. Mm-hmm. And I think that today we're just exposed a lot more to every single step of the way. We know about the production of these films way earlier than we should. And it's easy to get our hopes up.
They haven't done, and Warner Brothers have not done themselves any favors by announcing things and directors and all of this, like it's and fans saying it's going to happen. No, it's not. Gotham City Sirens is a great example of that.
Well, just think of the past 20 years of BOF, like in between Batman and Robin and Batman Begins, how many projects were definitely going to happen. Your Batman Beyond, your
Batman Beyond, Year One,
Superman versus Batman.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, Wolfgang Peterson. So, but it didn't. Yeah, it's just it seems different. I talked to someone who in the know about that, and there's like, most of these aren't going to happen. And I said, well, why are they doing this? And it's also part of they're trying to give fans some kind of hope. But I think it's on the other hand, I think it does them more of a disservice because they think this stuff's going to happen and it doesn't, and they get pissed. I mean, you've got people on, and you might have seen on the Batman on Film Facebook group and the fan pages. They're like, Warner Brothers needs to announce something now about Matt Reeves and Ben Affleck. No, they don't. No, they really don't have to do that. They need to just let Reeves do his thing. They don't need to announce anything because, frankly, the mainstream, the general audience isn't going, man, I really need to know now if Ben Affleck's going to be Batman. You know? They don't care.
What they do, they create, when they release information, I think fans think, oh, they're going to give me some information. But when they do that, all they do is create a false sense of hope. They don't create any goodwill. And when something doesn't happen, well, what's going on? So they look more and more, they look weaker. So you're right. Like, once Matt Reeves is like, hey, I'm ready to film, like, there's a promo image or something, put it out. It's like with Shazam. I think they're doing the right thing with Shazam. They're they're going to put a picture out soon. Oh gosh, I just forgot the name of the director, but he's been pretty good about like showing some, like, he does some fun stuff online on his Twitter and Instagram, like he's showing
Sandberg,
pictures. So like once he's like, you're ready to go, like, you know, it's a thing that's going to start. Fine, start doing those types of things, but you know, you go back to like Rick Famuyiwa when he was doing his stuff. You know, he started posting pictures of his Flash stuff, and then it got pulled from him. And so once cameras are ready to roll, start putting info out because there's no goodwill, and it's like the Goldilocks and the Three Bears, or type of situation, or Red Riding Hood. Sorry, one of those fairy tales where you give information and boy who cried wolf. There you go. I don't know anything about it. I like comics.
Boy who cried wolf. So that brings up. It's a good segue into this, and I didn't know if we were going to talk about it, but we will now. Want to get y'all's thoughts. So, are they? Do you feel like they're doubling down with some of this stuff? Like, okay, there's and this is not confirmed. This is rumor. I have not heard personally. I have not heard that they plan on doing this, but I will say I'll give him a plug. Mario from Revenge of the Fans, El Fanboy podcast, says that they're planning on doing another Legion of Doom post-credit scene at the end of Aquaman, and I'm like, for one thing, they added that they weren't going to have the Legion of Doom in Justice League. That was added in after the first press screenings, and then they included it right before before they released it. That's just the best way to put it. And I don't think there's going to be a Legion of Doom film. Personally, I just don't think so. I think that's giving false hope. And so, if that's the case, why would you double down and do it for Aquaman? Ryan, what do you think, man?
Yeah, I mean, it's just the thing is because we know the way Justice League was made, and we know that these extra scenes were just made to maybe kind of sort of maybe feed into the Ben Affleck Batman movie, and then it wasn't in the film for a long time, and then at the last second they decided, hey, let's just put it in because people will be excited. The people that care about this stuff will be excited about it. I don't. And after all that, and after seeing the films get the reception they get, I don't think it's worth it to just, have to rely on extra winks and nods just to kind of sell the movies. The movies need to sell themselves, and the whole Marvel does it all the time. That's not a valid argument in my opinion, just because none of those post-credit scenes in the Marvel movies really matter that much. Like, people are going to see the movies anyway, and the post-credit scenes are fun, but that doesn't mean that the films don't have to try. And those movies have earned it. They have 17 movies and things and they are building up to things. And if DC is going to do what they're saying they're going to do, and making films that stand alone and don't have to feed into each other, they don't have to have the post-credit stuff that may or may not lead into something. Yeah. I mean, it's not a horrible thing, but it's something that they shouldn't put too much effort into, like overshadowing the film. Like, I don't ever want to be like, go see Aquaman, go see the Legion of Doom post-credit scene after you see Aquaman the movie. Like, don't do it that way.
Yeah, I think. Look, I've never said that I think they should do away with the shared universe. I think they should limit it tremendously and focus on these solo films. And when you go see Wonder Woman 2, and you want to, in your mind as a fan, you want to say, okay, somewhere, there's Superman, and somewhere out there Batman exists, but they don't have to show up. They don't have to be there. Where someone from the mainstream general audience could see the film and not even it's oblivious to it, you know.
Yeah.
So Justin, what's your take on the Legion of Doom? Rumor, okay, let's call it that. We're not going to say it's going to happen, and all this stuff, and what do you think they should be doing with these solo films going forward for the time being?
Yeah, man, because I feel like I'm on the opposite side of the fence with Bill right now. but I will say I agree with you on the sense of limiting the shared universe. I think that's where I stand. It doesn't make sense for the characters to cross over when for just, hey, that sounds like a funny idea. It doesn't make sense. It feels weird. But I do think certain characters do work together more than others. Like if they were going to do some type of crossover stuff, let it make sense. Now, I personally feel if they do want to throw Superman and Shazam, makes sense to me. To me, it was like, okay. But I understand the concerns for like Henry Cavill being reduced to cameo guy. I don't know. I don't even think it's going to happen, to be honest. It just sounds like a rumor until they go, hey, Cavill's going to be in this. Okay, then he's in it. But right now it's all speculation. We don't know. As far as like the end tags, I like the thing about Justice League. I think that was the part I enjoyed the most.
That's what made Justice League go from a B to a B+ for me. Just because the end credits was cool.
and maybe it's more because like, oh man, like I want to see Joe Manganiello do something with this, because it was kind of, we had that shot that Affleck put out, and everyone got excited about it, right? And then it kind of like, well, that's done. Even hearing him going, I don't know what's going on. So seeing it pop up was interesting, and he was also kind of wearing this like Legion of Doom T-shirt, during that
with
time,
the Justice League font.
The Justice League font. So I don't know. I don't think they're making a Legion of Doom movie. That doesn't make any sense. But they may be setting up the idea that there's something that exists. Who knows? I mean, if Aquaman comes out, and at the end of Aquaman, it's just a standalone Aquaman movie, and then at the end of Aquaman, Slade Wilson shows up and hangs out Black
Manta.
I want to say Black Panther, Black Manta. All right, like let's see what they're doing. I'm willing to let them see what they're doing, because again, like what Ryan's saying, it doesn't take away from the film, but I understand the false hope too. The situation, because
that's where I'm.
What your concern is, you guys are doing something that's not going to pay off. I'm hoping that there is a payoff. I'm willing to let them try, because maybe they do have a plan. I don't think they do, but capital M.
Yeah.
Maybe ... Maybe they do have something on the wall. The thing right now,
it's all a trust thing to me. If we trusted them and felt like they had a plan, I would be way more okay with a lot of this. And my absolute bottom line with the whole thing is like, if this is something that filmmaker wants, that's fine. If Sandberg directing Shazam was like, I want Superman in this, I'm helping write the script, and I want this, absolutely do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
But don't just have it thrown in there.
I'm with you on that. Go ahead.
Honestly, and even like going to Cavill loves this character. I think that's something he would enjoy doing, because you see this guy and you really just root for him to be Superman, to have a film. So there's a little bit of me that's like, I just want to see him be Superman, and it might be another way that we can get him being, the Superman we've wanted, because, regardless of like how Justice League went, you got a little bit of a hint of like, okay, that's how he can play this, and let's get a little peek at him. So if he shows up, good, I'm all for it. Just let it be not ham-fisted, but let it be like, I'm glad that part existed there. But
I'm against it. I'm against it because I am kind of a Shazam. He's Captain Marvel to me, y'all. I mean, always will be.
Right.
I am a Captain Marvel fan. I loved, when I was a kid, I was 8, 9 years old when that 1970s Saturday morning show came out. And that's how I discovered that character, and I went back and read all the old stuff from Fawcett, and I was a really big Captain Marvel fan. And the whole idea, especially when you're 8, 9 years old, when you can say Shazam and you become a freaking superhero. That's awesome. I'm just, I'm like, okay, Superman and Captain Marvel are like almost the same character. In fact, DC sued Fawcett for copyright infringement and won back in the day, and so you're going to have a Captain Marvel movie, Shazam movie, and you're going to put in Superman, and Mario. I'll give him another. I'll bring him up again because he was on the show and he said, Well, they may need a little bit of, Captain Marvel, Shazam's not all that well known, and this kind of gives it a bump. And I'm like, then don't make the movie. If you need to resort to bringing in the most iconic comic book superhero in history to prop up and give Shazam a bump, then why are you making the movie? That's kind of where I'm at. And on the other part, I am a huge Cavill fan, and I want that dude to get a proper Superman film, and I want the next time we see him, I want him to be in that, not in a cameo in Shazam. So thoughts on that, boys?
I get that, but to go into it, I just disagree with that statement that you don't need Superman to make a Shazam movie good. I think if they want to put Superman in it, cool. But it doesn't give the movie any more of a platform for people to watch it. Okay, look at Guardians of the Galaxy. Look at Justice League. Yeah. Well, no, look at Guardians of the Galaxy. No one knew who that was, and that movie made just a buttload of money because it was a good movie. It had a good word of mouth.
Look at Black Panther.
Black Panther.
It's almost Avengers level in terms of it's made
make good, even movies that are just not genre films that make money. Like, no one knows what these things are. Like, word of mouth and good reviews is gonna give a movie some legs. So I mean, I see what he's doing. He's just trying to defend his stance, but you got to stand on better legs than that, buddy.
I wanted
the leg.
Yeah, I wanted Shazam, Captain Marvel to be its own little universe and be really go really PG and really goofy. Mr. Mind and
Mr. Adam, Ogar, and
Talkie Tawny and all that stuff. Do that, and that's just where I come up from the Captain Marvel fan side and from the Henry Cavill Superman side. So my take was, and I don't think anybody likes it, but it was like, make Billy Batson the biggest DC Comics Superman fan there is. Literally, he's a fan of DC Comics. He reads Superman comics. He wants to be Superman, and then he becomes Superman. If you want to tie in the DC universe into Captain Marvel Shazam movie, do it that way, where they're fictional and he becomes this, So that's my take.
They did that in the comics, and that little boy became Superman Prime and ruined the whole DC universe.
It's true.
Final Crisis and whatever story
he hit that wall.
Yeah,
and then that's what brought Jason Todd back.
Exactly. The end of the Red.
No, I think that your take. I like that take, Bill. I just think Warner Brothers has different plans, or many plans. The one thing that makes it interesting to me is The Rock. He's just been touting his mouth for like 4 years. Like he's been in so many movies except Black Adam.
Except the DC property,
Man, you're like, what the heck is this movie? When did he even make this movie? But where's Black Adam? So he's been very vocal about wanting Black Adam to go toe to toe with Superman, which doesn't make too much sense. I mean, I guess on the power level side of it, I'm like, Black Adam should go toe to toe with Shazam, right?
Well, it's magic, though. I mean, Superman's weakness is magic and all that.
And I get that.
But but that's the question. It's like, why doesn't Shazam fight him? Yeah.
Okay, and that's another thing. Okay, I don't want that movie. Okay, Black Adam should be in the Shazam sequel. I'm sorry, it should be. And Superman needs to be taken on flipping Brainiac or some great Superman villain. Don't bring in The Rock and he'll get top billing and they'll be crapping all over Cavill again.
Right?
He'll be reduced to 43 whatever. I want Cavill, Henry Cavill, Superman.
I want Super. I don't just want Superman. I want Superman. I want Daily Planet. I want Jimmy freaking Olsen. I want the Superman lore back.
Yes.
I want all that.
Yes.
I want them to change that.
You know what? After this Mission Impossible Fallout movie, I wonder how, where Cavill's star goes. Because just in that trailer, man, he looks pretty awesome. Like, he's beating down on Tom Cruise. Sorry, that's a whole side note, but I saw that, and I was like, man, this mustache better pay off, man. You know what I'm saying? Like,
okay, I know,
Star Rising.
I'll see the movie, but I know nothing about it. So it's a good thing, right?
Oh, okay.
I see the movie, know nothing about it. What's Cavill's role? Is he a bad guy in this film?
He looks like it.
Yeah.
He looks to be some type of opposition to Tom Cruise.
Just for me watching the trailer in the theater before Black Panther, it made me feel like, maybe Tom Cruise is like gone rogue and Henry Cavill's the good guy that's sent in to bring the good guy turned bad in or something like that. But
Oh, really?
I could be wrong.
I don't know, man. He starts beating up on him in that bathroom, and
I know.
I want to see Tom Cruise get beat up.
I do too.
Just a little bit. Just a little.
Tom Cruise is about half the size of Cavill, to be honest. So anyway,
maybe he could be Green Lantern, and then Superman can fight Green Lantern.
I'm not going to bash Mr. Cruise. Start that. All right, let me ask y'all this. Black Panther was flipping awesome. It was awesome. Okay.
Yes,
it was.
And John Campea made a on his show, and I want to see what. And I think he had a point. It was interesting. If Black Panther can do what it did at the box office, could Wonder Woman have done better? Was it the what's the word I want to look for? The stink of BVS permeating over Wonder Woman a little bit. Which Wonder Woman I love, and it did great. Just don't say it didn't, but
yeah, it did really.
Could it have done better? Could it have done better if you compare it? Because you're talking about two non-traditional superhero leads, a female and a true African, a black leading man. So, and I think he's got has a little point to it. Y'all disagree or agree? Or what's your take on that?
Yeah, I think that. I mean, I don't know. Part of me thinks Campy always takes a dig at Gal. He just does. He's not he likes to say she's not a great actress and all this other stuff. So I think he slyly takes digs at her. But if you want to just talk about the film itself, any movie can do better. I just think Black Panther came at the right time. There's a lot of people pumped up for it. I mean, it's on that same level like it's of history, but I think it has more going for it. It's got an almost entirely all black cast, director. It means something, and it means something to a lot of people in the same way that Wonder Woman did. But I think,
couldn't you say the same thing about Wonder Woman? It was iconic character, female lead, female superhero, and it did fantastic. But when you compare it to Black Panther, could have done better. I mean, did BVS affect it a little bit? I mean,
what? Yeah,
I don't know. Most people that I know that saw Wonder Woman didn't see BVS, so. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we can debate it and go.
I think it's
definitely interesting.
Topic, yeah.
It just sure we can say that. I don't know, man. My answer is Campea. I think he just likes to stir the pot.
I agree. And I like the show. And even if I don't agree, if I don't agree with him, it's just I thought the hypothesis was a topic that was worthy of kicking around and discussing. Is there a point to this, Ryan? Any particular thoughts you have on that?
Yeah. I mean, about the BVS point. I mean, BVS in some way could have taken away the novelty of seeing Wonder Woman for the first time, but that's not a one-to-one comparison really, because Civil War had Black Panther, introduced Black Panther, and now we have a Black Panther solo movie, much in the way we had BVS to Wonder Woman. But BVS's reception could have affected it, but also Wonder Woman was one of the most universally praised things in BVS, so I think it's most likely a net positive in terms of BVS to Wonder Woman. But I made a tweet a few days ago about this, and I broke this down in my head into three things, in terms of comparing the success to both movies, and it was, the cultural relevance of the character right now, the positive reviews from critics in the mainstream, and brand loyalty. And the Black Panther, Marvel has all three of those, and DC has two of those. They're kind of lacking on the brand loyalty part right now. And Wonder Woman, it opened soft. It opened the lowest of any DC film, but it had long legs. It had great word of mouth, and it made it up for it in the end because how good it was. And I think that's only good going into Wonder Woman 2. And so if they had the brand loyalty, if we were 17 movies in or whatever like Marvel is, and then they do Wonder Woman, they probably would have done better.
It certainly helps that being under the Marvel and the MCU brand is I mean, you got to give it its props.
Yeah.
I mean, it's powerful,
Yeah, but comparatively, at the end of the day, though, I mean, it's a hard bar to cross for me because of how successful it really was. If you look at every movie Warner Brothers has ever released, for domestic gross, Wonder Woman is their top 3 movie ever. You know, it's The Dark Knight, The Dark Knight Rises, and then Wonder Woman, and then Harry Potter, the last Harry Potter film, in terms of the most domestic money any Warner Brothers film has made. So, just to throw out the idea that it had to have done better is a little doesn't really hold up because it's number 3 movie they've ever done.
I think it did well. I mean, can't take it away from that.
Exactly. But yeah, if the brand loyalty speaks to a larger issue that DC has to address right now, and hopefully is something that they actually start to kind of do this year while they have, Aquaman only to go to.
Okay. All right. Let's bring it right back to Batman. We'll finish up. It's going to be Batman on film, but not Matt Reeves. Y'all's thoughts real quick on Gotham by Gaslight, Justin. And you did some cool stuff, man.
Yeah, I got to
go to the premiere and all that, man. So
yeah, that was fun. Yeah, Ryan's shaking his head. I didn't love it. I thought it was in these direct-to-video DC films. It was better than the last few I've seen. I don't know, man. I think I miss the era of when Tim was doing good stuff. I don't know what happened when he left and then he came back. I just feel like it's a different feel, but I felt like the animation was cheap. I felt like the budget was low on this. So I don't mean to be super critical. That's just where I'm at. The voice casting was excellent. I thought everyone was fantastic. I didn't like the twist. I won't spoil that because I hate spoiling things for people.
Oh, now you won't spoil it. Jerk.
Oh, man. Oh, big mistake on my part. But I just felt like
joke, guys. Yeah.
I felt like the animation really was stagnant, and I felt like the colors are off for me. Like I went back and looked through my Gotham by Gaslight, trade, and it just doesn't have that feeling. And I know it's an adaptation, and I know it's not exactly. And I wasn't going into it looking for this exact thing, but I think and again, that's how I feel. I think they did a disservice to a character. I'm like, man, you never put that guy in that box. There's this certain trademarks on a character, and I'm like, oh, they just kind of went in the face of who this guy is. So I didn't like that, but overall, I just felt like it was rushed. It felt very rushed. It felt very like, hey, let's just get this thing done because it's something people have been asking for. Oh, they should do an animated version of Gotham.
I've been banging the drum for that for years. I'll tweet to James Tucker all the time. Got to make Gotham by Gaslight.
Right, exactly. And you know what? One of the things they did at the panel is they talked about the animation. And someone said, "Oh, it doesn't look just like Mignola stuff." And they said, "Well, yeah, Bruce says because Bruce Timm kind of produced it, and he said he's a big fan of like simplicity." But I'm like, yeah, but if you go and look at the Batman animated series and stuff like that, it's simplicity, but it still has movement and it still flows well.
Dark Knight Returns.
Yeah, this stuff looked. I just thought it was cheap. Like there was literally like just still frames of artwork with no movement. And it just felt like, man, you're just riding the clock here. It was like you're watching a game. You're like, why is the clock still going and there's nothing going on? So
fair enough.
I was disappointed. So
how was the event?
That was cool, man.
Yeah.
It's what it was. I couldn't put everything in there because just you'd be watching a 40-minute video, but it was cool. Everyone was really friendly. The you kind of have these like I don't know how they do it, like these day player contract voice actors. They're doing all these different DC properties, like Grey Griffin. She does Wonder Woman on Superhero Girls. She did. She was
in the Lego Flash.
Yeah, she was in Lego Flash. She played Maggie, so Sister Maggie, but she also did the singing for Catwoman. Like people were like watching that. It wasn't Jennifer Carpenter who did the singing. So she was really cool and just fun. And she also does Daphne on Scooby-Doo. So I was like, oh, I got to meet Daphne and I got to meet, oh my gosh, what's her other name?
You mean you mean Leslie. Leslie Thompson.
Sister Leslie, sorry. But she played, but I was just saying, like, I met both Scooby-Doo players. So I got Velma and Daphne.
That's right.
But yeah, she was really cool, just hanging out and chatting. And it was really like kind of a fan moment because she just wanted to chat more about like, oh, I didn't know Maggie Sawyer, like not Maggie Sawyer. What was her name? Leslie Tompkins. Sorry, she's like, I didn't know Leslie Tompkins was a thing, and I got to tell her a little bit about like who she was, and it was cool. So it was a fun time. I can't wait to go again and maybe run into some of these same people, because they actually just like talking, and they almost have to move you along. All right, stop talking.
Yeah.
Them. They just want to chat with you.
Yeah.
So it was pretty cool. And then Bruce Greenwood totally he there was a bunch of stuff I had to cut because he was being funny. He kind of reached into my jacket and he was like touching like my Batman shirt, and he was like talking about his character, but it muffled up the mic and everything. It was a good time. They were all fun and all excited to be there. And
well, next time
yeah.
next time I send you to one of those, we need to bring a bag of Batman on film shirts and give those guys. Hey, look, I said
Batman
this.
just coming out, right?
Yeah, no one covered. I was going to get to that next. No one covered Scooby-Doo and Brave and the Bold and Gotham by Gaslight better than Batman on film. Nobody. Nobody. So, Ryan, what's your take on? Look, I loved it. I did a show on it. So, I loved it. You can read my review. So, Ryan, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Just to your point, if you go to Batman on Film and just click on the Gotham by Gaslight, tag, you'll see all the content we made, and all of us on the site. It's ridiculous. We really covered the crap out of this movie. Mm-hmm. I love the movie. I mean, like I said, if you can go and listen to episodes 107 and 109 of the BOF podcast, and it's an interview and a commentary episode with Brian Augustin, who wrote Gotham by Gaslight, the original book.
Which was fantastic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Regardless of how I filmed about the film, it was good listening to him chat on it. So
if you want some really good insight into the book itself and his career and the film, those two episodes I think are probably some of the best good BOF content we've done in a while on the podcast. So listen to those. I love the movie. Reading the book, I read the book and got refreshed on it and everything, and I love exploring the art of adapting things from one medium to the next, from a book to a movie, and so on and so forth. And I thought that they did a great job, and I appreciate and respect the changes that they did for both the artwork and story-wise to this movie, because I like the fact that it feels like a third pillar along the two Gotham by Gaslight comics and graphic novels. You've got this third movie that stands alongside them, and it contributes to the overall, lore of that version of the character. Mm-hmm. And I got it on the 4K Blu-ray, and with the HDR, the colors, I think it's a dark film. They're very muted. I feel like they did try to match a lot of the palette kind of stuff from the book. So I think with that color depth on the 4K Blu-ray, I felt like that helped smooth over a lot of the things that Justin was talking about, to me at least, because I felt like all that kind of just worked for me. And the final point is, the voice acting was just absolutely incredible. Bruce Greenwood as there's a lot more Bruce Wayne in that movie than you might think at first glance. And the version of Bruce Wayne he has to play is he's early on in his career, and he's also in the Jack the Ripper era. So that was really good, and Jennifer Carpenter was just absolutely excellent as Selena Kyle, who obviously was not part of the original book, and the way that they added her to the story was just brilliant, and the voice acting and writing was spot on for me, and I think that in itself made this third pillar movie new story just really worth telling. I really liked it.
One question, Ryan, did you like how they did Robin?
I loved how they did Robin.
I love the Robins too. They were good.
Okay.
I loved how they did Robin. I love how it's a nod to Sherlock Holmes, the Baker Street irregulars, the eyes and ears around the city. I feel like, listening in on it, they had Selena be part of a circus kind of thing, and I was like, well, maybe that was a missed opportunity, that they could have easily put Robins in the circus or something like that. But hey, if they ever do a sequel to this, which would be kind of crazy if they actually went that route, they form their own little Bat family at the end of the movie. They could easily Selena could easily have the three Robins doing acrobatics or something. They could bring the circus back or something. That'd be amazing.
I would love to see a sequel to it. So
buy it. That's what they said.
DC people.
Buy it.
Speaking of sequel, I want to see another one of these, Gotham by Gaslight, and I want to see more Brave and the Bold Batman doing, you know.
Oh, yeah.
We know,
Pair him up with whoever.
Yeah.
And that's what they said. That's what they said at the presser was, buy them. Everybody wants to make more of these.
Yeah.
You know,
They have
DJ
such a
Bader
good time,
said
you could
he
tell.
loves playing Batman.
Yeah.
He was like, you know, all you guys can do is buy this, and we'll make more. You know, Warner Brothers wants to make money.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, that's
you go.
true. Yeah, it's,
Yeah.
you know, Justin, you and I did the podcast for Scooby-Doo, Brave and the Bold. We both loved it, and we
Loved
said
it.
that buy it, support it, because we want
Yeah.
to see more of that. All right, last thing, we don't have to spend a lot of time. We don't know much about it, but what are y'all interested in this Batman Ninja thing that's coming out?
Yeah.
soon?
Oh my God, yes! I
Okay,
am
all
so excited
All
about
right.
that thing
this.
All
looks
right,
beautiful.
Justin, what's your thoughts? I mean,
That's-
I know very little about it except for what I've seen. You know.
I don't know anything about it either besides that. When I saw that, I heard about it a while ago. It was
Yeah.
like a thing. And then that trailer came out, and I was like, this looks fantastic. I love Batman. I love ninjas. Let's do this.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm just eagerly awaiting for it. I was really hoping. I hope they do a screening of this because I will go
Yeah.
to that. And
Yeah.
and
They should. I bet they do. Yeah, we'll be there.
yeah, they probably will.
Yeah.
It seems like it's a new thing that they're doing there at the. Well, they did this one at the Paley Center.
Yeah.
The other one was, you know, at the
the Chinese
Man's
theater.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's all I got.
All
I want to
right.
go see
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, Ryan.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's. I'm really excited about this just because I'm. It's kind of weird. I'm not really big into like, you know, anime and Japanese anime and stuff like that. But I am a huge fan of Batman anime stuff, and there is more than you'd think.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I'm really excited about. Me and Justin have been talking about this. We might have to do either a vlog or a podcast or something on all of the other, you know, Batman anime stuff
Oh, okay.
to lead into this thing.
Okay, yeah,
that could be kind of a fun vlog.
Y'all make that happen, please. That's now I'm writing it down. I'm writing
Well,
it down.
there's
right
the
now.
whole the manga stuff and
There's the manga stuff. There's
because they were releasing it on DC on the digital a while ago, but it's been around for a while.
Okay.
yeah.
They're
So
reprinting
so I've had it in the back of my head. I need to make a list of all these things because there's just
Yeah.
off the top of my head. There's things like is it like Batman? Is it like Death Mask? Is it something like that? That's kind of recent. And Child of Dreams.
Well, I need
which,
I need to watch or hear this show to educate myself. So please,
yeah,
Sam,
it's we'll get on that and maybe even get somebody that really knows anime or
Yeah.
something to join in to provide us context. And of course,
FJ,
what is it?
FJ
Is that,
DeSanto. This is so up his alley, man.
Oh,
There
and
you go.
I like that.
There you
This
go.
is so first thing I said, I said, you fired up for this? He goes, you have no idea. So yeah,
Yeah. And of course, like there's Lord Deathman, which if you
I
saw
love Lord Deathman.
if you see him in Batman Incorporated in the comics, you might think, well, what's this weird character? He originated in the Japanese Batman. There's a whole story behind that.
And he was on Batman Brave and the Bold.
Exactly. So it's very fascinating, and it's crazy that this new, you know, anime film is going to contribute to that. So I think it looks phenomenal. It's a different thing. It again, like I keep saying, I like adapting things in other mediums, and I like Batman, you know, being malleable, being in other realms and stories. So I think it's right up my alley too. I think it's just great. I haven't got clarity on this. I wonder if the version of the film that we buy in the States will have the Japanese voices or not.
Oh.
And if
don't know.
and if they don't, I might have to import the Japanese one myself just to hear like the real original voices. Because I know the other thing is that they had, you know, this film was made by, you know, anime filmmakers, and they have a American cast to do the American voices, and they've had people that have taken the script and have translated it for us, for America. So that might also be another fascinating thing, is to get the Japanese version, hear the Japanese voices, and maybe it has English subtitles and see what
It
the
looks like
stories are. So
I'm looking at the cast list right now, and it looks like a mix because it has Tom Kenny, it has Grey Griffin, Tara Strong, and then it's got like Koichi Yamadera. So I don't know if they're just having Asian actors play the parts, or if it's actually being done in Japanese. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Who's voicing Batman? Who voices Batman in this?
Koichi Yamadera.
Okay.
So
or is that? I think that might be. You might be looking at a combined cast list.
It might be. I don't see another person playing Batman on this list. So, but yeah. Well, actually, you know, I think you're right. No, Roger Craig Smith is playing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there you go.
So there you go.
Yeah.
So I was wrong. So
he voices
might be a
Batman
dub.
in the Telltale games. I know that.
Ah,
Does
okay.
he?
Yeah, it is Roger
thought that
Craig
was Troy-
Smith. No, it's
I thought
Troy
that was-
Baker, is it?
Troy Baker. I think it's Troy Baker.
Yeah.
He did Batman in I think the Arkham Origins.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's Troy.
Oh my
Wait.
God! Come on, Ryan. You know.
No,
this stuff.
wait. No, he did. Troy Baker did the Joker in Arkham Origins.
Yes. Okay. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
he's the Joker and Batman
Yeah.
choice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Baker is.
Oh, and
there we go.
And he does both good. So
Yeah,
in Origins, I mean, sound like Mark Hamill. So anyway, all right, let's plug some stuff. Good stuff today.
Yeah.
Ryan, go ahead. What you got, man?
Yeah. Like I said, if you haven't either seen Gotham by Gaslight, or if you have and you want more content, please go back and listen to 107 and 109 of the BOF podcast, interviews with Brian Augustin. They're really good. I can't say more. I can't thank him enough for coming on 2 shows in a row for that thing, and he was great, and I think we got a lot out of it. And follow me on Twitter at SMB_Ryan, and follow the Tim Drake, Everyone Loves Drake podcast at ELTD podcast.
Yeah, all you got, go to Batman on Film, and where at the top in the menu for Batman movies, just click, hover over it, and there's drop down. You can get to Gotham by Gaslight on the animated side. You can see all that stuff. You can see the stuff Justin did. You can see reviews. No one covered that
Vlogs.
movie.
Yeah.
No one covered that movie like Batman on Film.
I feel like we needed an award or something, because our content was so good. I mean, and even trying to step outside of me doing stuff for BOF, you look at that, and we did some good stuff.
I'm really proud of that. All right, Justin, what you got, dude?
Yeah, just follow me on Twitter at J_Rocca, and you can check out my other shows. I got Let's Go Comic Show and Let's Go Podcast. We just did some Black Panther stuff, and so yeah, it was some good stuff. That's a fun. It's not Batman, but it's a good movie.
Yeah, cool.
Go check it out.
Yeah, it's a good movie. Yep.
And then also, I just want to say, we got some more podcasts coming up. I think that we're going to try and do another follow up to our Batman action figure show we did.
Oh, okay. Good.
Over a year ago. So we got some people were asking on a podcast. We probably have a comic vlog coming up soon as well. Me and Ryan.
We want to do a podcast on the first half, issues 1 through 4 of White Knight.
Yeah, we'll be doing
And
White Knight.
we want to get Rick on that, because Rick's actually reading it.
He is reading White Knight, man.
Rick doesn't read comics.
He showed me the pictures.
He doesn't
He actually
read
had
comics.
pictures. He proved it.
He is reading White Knight. He is.
He proved it. He was talking about it the other day on the vlog, so he actually had.
Yeah, he really likes White Knight.
Really
He's
inside.
like, man, that thing is good. It is good. It's awesome.
It's a great comic.
If y'all didn't know, real quick, I've turned over, but Ryan and Justin are leading the way on the podcast. I'm kind of going back to my banging the drum writing stuff, I'm still going to be on the podcast, but they do great stuff. You don't need me on everything. I'm just me. That they do awesome podcasts. So
people want you on there.
That's true. Yeah.
Well, look,
I'm gonna get a whole bunch of you just going. All right. Okay.
Oh, no, I just need sound
you in there.
Get some drops and put it in there.
bites.
Me saying just stuff like that.
Bill,
But,
what do you think?
What do you think,
Frankly,
Bill?
I think this is
I'm
great.
fired up.
Yes, look.
Hey, now.
Thank you. I'm flattered that the audience thinks that, but Batman the film is more than just me, and I have things I do. I'm better than others. I like being on the podcast, but there's the topics like the anime and the manga stuff for Batman. That's an awesome idea. I want to listen to it as a fan. So keep that stuff up, guys. I like the toy stuff, the collectible stuff. All that stuff's great. So anyway, all right. You can find me on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter at Batman on Film. Also, I want to say Batman 66, Batman the Brave and the Bold, and the Lego Batman is flipping awesome. It's great Batman material, historic, classic Batman stuff. And if anybody else thinks differently, I don't know. Are you a Batman fan? Anyway, so
Greater
Batman on Film, authoritative, definitive. All right, boys, you know what to say next.
Dadgum original.
Dadgum original. We'll catch you next time.